It is that time of the year where we look back and celebrate all those performances, potentials, and creations that have amazed, influenced, and inspired us as cine enthusiasts, citizens of today's world, and as human beings. We are working on our year-end lists, and while doing so, we realized a major miss that we had on our part around our promise to talk to you about good cinema. Fire in the Mountains, that we watched a few months back, is one of the finest Indian films of the year, and we missed talking about it on our channel. Directed by writer-director Ajitpal Singh, Fire in the Mountains is as authentic a portrayal of contemporary India as it can be. A film that can be considered a part of our historical archives to refer to when our future generations would try to look back at the India we live in today. The film also reflects on the many Indias that live inside the single geographic entity of India, and does that effortlessly in the process of narrating a simple story of a family from Munsiari, Uttarakhand. We are here to discuss all that and more in this video celebrating director Ajitpal Singh's Fire in the Mountains, one of the finest films of the year. Chandra, the character played by an impressive Vinamrata Rao, and her husband Dharam, played by a fantastic Chandan Bisht, run the Switzerland homestay in Munsiari. Switzerland, with the T missing. A place with a fantastic view up on the mountains, but without a proper road for connectivity. We watch Chandra going up and down the mountain road that leads to their homestay, carrying water, food, and other household stuff every day across the length of the film. Their son Prakash had an accident recently which has left him immobile. The doctors are baffled as they have no clue to why Prakash cannot walk even now, as there seems to be no apparent medical reason. So now Chandra must also carry her teenage son on her back up and down the same mountain road to avail healthcare facilities for him, as she gets restless and worried with every passing day for Prakash missing school and his academics suffering. She spends all her saved money, tries out all possible routes to get the road to her home paved so that Prakash's treatment is not compromised. There's also Kanchan, Chandra's daughter, at a sensitive phase of sexual awakening, flirting with TikTok videos as an easily accessible vent. And there's Dharam's elder sister Kamla, a widow staying with this family, without a place of her own, with her mental balance and physical needs in a state of gradual evaporation. And while all this is happening in the family, we have Dharam indulging in false hopes and superstitions to fix everything wrong overnight. Now, when you hear this premise of the film, it might appear as another straightforward narrative of the living conditions of another neglected, poverty-stricken Indian family. When we started watching the film, that's what we expected as well, an honest attempt to uphold the cause of the neglected. And then, the intricacy of the film starts sucking you in its labyrinth, and by the time you reach the riveting climax, you are all unsettled. The complexities of India and the idiosyncrasies of our everyday existence can never reflect well enough in a straightforward story of black and white. India is a mesh and not a singular line as the film voices. One India where travelers walk up the mountain roads for vacations and take selfies, as India apparently emerges as a superpower in the world, and the other India where the same mountain roads are hurdles for basic sustenance and a worn-out Chandra must wait with the entire luggage as her traveler guests take selfies. In Ajitpal Singh's emphatic writing and brilliant direction, it's that confusion and complexities that come across so well, making this film an instant triumph. Every character in this film has a secret of their own and are victims of their own choices. There's this constant duel with faith and fate for all the characters, which leaves you suffocated. And then there's this duality. Chandra, the superwoman of the story, the ideal mother to her son, suddenly loses her unconditional sympathy in the subtlety of the screenplay. Not because she is ready for all compromise, not because of how she behaves with Kamla, the sister-in-law, but for her choice of getting proper education for her son, even at the cost of her daughter's academics. She is happy for Kanchan to turn into another Chandra, as long as Prakash, the son, flourishes. Dharam, the good-for-nothing husband who also resorts to domestic abuse later in the film, would be a clear-cut negative character in any other lesser movie. But here, he is perhaps the simplest mind around, the one with least going on in the head. And as Kanchan says, he looks beautiful when he's sober. There's a beautiful scene of Chandra and Dharam flirting on the bed, which you would never find in similar stories of black and white. And that's the beauty of the film. It's about both the light and the shadows that we all are, and much like the mountains where the story takes place. And the horrific realization that dawns upon you, that the warm, beautiful, serene and bountiful nature hides in its cradle the ugliest, creepiest and devastating realities that can shatter you. Take a bow, Ajitpal Singh. And then there's the children, always watching and growing up at a time and place where fast internet and western toilets have reached home, but the roads are yet to be made. The young Mayank Singh Jaira gives an award-worthy performance as Prakash, who himself is a deviation from the accepted normal, as so subtly put forward by Ajitpal across the film. But when he witnesses his mother deviating from the accepted motherly image, he feels cheated. That is the paradox of India, isn't it? One who has faced the oppression and burden in one aspect of life is unable to support someone else facing similar hurdles in another strand. We question how easy the journeys of Chandra, Kanchan, Kamla, Prakash or Dharam would be, even if the road to their home would be taken care of as it should be. Ajitpal Singh brings in the same sense of paradoxical suffocation in Tabbar, the best Indian web series of this year, streaming on Sony Live, where again, while taking care of the interests of the family, a caring father transcends boundaries. The stakes are much higher there and the boundaries are more clear and sharper. But in Fire in the Mountains, when we see each of the well-meaning characters losing their grip on personal identities and preferred arcs of life, you relate more closely to the India you witness on screen. An India where our choices are constantly reshaped by our colonial hangovers, deep-rooted patriarchies, and any venture of expedition to a forbidden territory of breaking free invokes the wrath of an avenging fate to strike your world flat. All of this converges into an unsettling climax, as we were mentioning earlier. And the last frame establishes our paradoxical existence all over again. We will not get into the details here, so that once you watch the film, it hits you as hard as it did for us. Hunt the film as best as you can and watch it as soon as possible. We guarantee it will be worth, and we too will try to update you on the screening schedules as available to us. Till that time, watch Tabbar on Sony Live if you haven't watched that yet, to celebrate Ajitpal Singh and his distinct cinematic voice. That is all from us today. Thank you for watching.